this is Pujari and I'm back again with another video of this web development series where we're gonna see everything about forms and its inputs. Now, my friends, we have covered almost every important concept of HTML. Now, among this, one of the most important part of HTML which you have to give more and more attention, and that is forms. I'm sure that you have came across many forms like survey forms, contact forms in many of the website. Now here also we will see how to make one and where exactly and what kind of input you have to use at which situations, right? So that way your UI UX experience of the users will be much more better. So without any delay, let's get started. And yes, as always, please check the description, and there I have given the timestamp which will be helpful for you to skip the parts that you don't wish to see. So let's get started. So guys, I'm an educator in Newton School. So let's see what Newton School is all about. So, my friends, Newton School is a platform which prepares you for career in tech. They have variety of courses which help professional working people and also for the people from non-tech background. Isn't that amazing, guys? They train you for 6 months to be a full stack web developer. Also, they ensures that you get placed in the best companies in the country. This wasn't the best part, guys. They have pay after placement facilities which ensures that you don't need to pay anything until and unless you get placed in the best companies with minimum 5 lakh CTC. Isn't that crazy, guys? So one more thing. Here you can see Launchpad. Launchpad is an initiative by Newton School for the students who want to learn coding from scratch, and here you can do as much as quiz you want and assignments you want to practice for the free of cost. Isn't that cool? And I want you all to go and check out their pages and try your hands on with this practice questions. So my friends, we are done with the introduction part, and now we will see what exactly this form does and what are its functions. So what exactly this form does? This form collects the data from the user, whatever the user types in, and then it takes to the server. Now why we put forms in our website? Because we want to collect some data from the user. So that is why we make forms. Now here if you will see, the first and the foremost thing while making form is to type this form tag. Now what exactly this form tag works as? This works as a container inside which we will insert all our inputs. And what are these inputs? All types of inputs means there are various types of inputs such as radio buttons, select buttons, checkboxes, text areas, and many more. So we're gonna discuss about everything, also the use cases of everything. So first of all, let's see how to make one of the most important element of the form, and that is input. This is one of the most used element as well. So inside input you have to write name. So there are different types of the input, right? Like as I said, radio buttons, check boxes, different types of input. So how we will say that we want this particular input? Yes, you guessed it right. We will use attributes, and here we will use a type attribute, and inside that we will write value according to our need. And here I am writing text because I just want one simple text input, and after that I will write name. Now why this name is being used? Because name provides the name for the element, that particular element, which will be helpful as a reference in JavaScript. So that is why we write name and ID. Now why ID is being used? ID has two usages, one for CSS and JavaScript and another for using labels. Why? Let's see. Now what are these labels and why are they being used? Now here you will see Labels behave as a labels for the inputs, just like you have seen name, how we have written name. Similarly, labels are used for that, and also it is very useful, and also it is very much useful when the user is someone who is using screen reading. At that time, labels are very much helpful, and also for using radio buttons, or wherever it is difficult to click at that places, even if you click on the labels, your job will be done. So labels are especially very important in such scenarios. And also inside labels you will see for attribute, and that for attribute and here id in the input should be similar, so that you can create sort of link between both of them and bind them together, like to show that this label and this particular input are together. Make sure the whatever name you will give for id, that value should be similar to for inside the label, just like how I did here. Now, since I was talking about different types of input, let's see how much type of how variety of input we have in the HTML. Now first, as usual, we have type is equal to text, and what it does exactly, it gives you a single line of input where you can write your text. Now next comes radio. And what is this type radio? It provides you radio buttons, and which will be circle like this as shown in the screen. And when to use this? Whenever you want your user to choose one of the following things. You don't want him to choose multiple things, only one particular option should be chosen. At that situation, type radio should be used. Next is checkbox. Now when to use checkbox? When you want your user, or when you want to allow your user to choose multiple options, at that time input type checkbox must be used. Another type is submit. Whenever you want that the user should click on this, and that value should be, whatever the data the user has provided to you should be submitted and should be sent to the server for processing. At that time submit should be used. Next comes button. It makes your element clickable. For that reason input type button should be used. Now another input type is email, and I guess this is pretty much explanatory that it is for email. And next we have password. Now this type password is very much beneficial because it masks whatever you write here, just like this. Isn't it cool? Now one more thing, if you want your user to put some information about their date of birth or any date you want, then you can use type is equal to date. It provides you cool calendar like this, and also you can use minimum and maximum attribute here as I have used here. Isn't that cool? Now another thing you can add is file. If you want your user to upload some file or data, whenever we see government official website that they ask us to provide PAN card or anything like that, so they have this option called upload file. So you can use input type as file and provide that particular option to your user. Next is time. Whenever you use type is equal to time, you will get a beautiful clock, and there you can allow your users to add time as well. Apart from input, there are many more form elements which we have to see. That is, this input is of one single line, right? If you want to write a paragraph or a summary type of thing, at that time you want many lines of input. So you can use text area and define columns and row attributes, so that you can get a big text area with multiple lines of input, and there you can add the whole paragraph. So this is how it works, my friends. Don't you think, my friends, that these elements are very much cool? And as a beginner, you might also think that you have came so much far and started learning advanced things and doing cooler things using HTML. See, I said HTML is cool. So this much for this video, my friends. Hope you guys like this video, and also if you like this video, please share it with your friends and let me know in the comments if you have any doubt or any suggestion for future videos. So yes, Have a great day, my friends. Bye bye.